Well, as you see in the screen, I am more than ecstatic to say that there is a live action version of one of my favorite games of all time coming out, The Streets of Rage, which is a beat 'em up game series that came out back in the 90s on the Sega Genesis. And with that being said, it is being written by Derek Kolstad. For those who don't know who Derek Kolstad is, he is the genius behind the John Wick franchise and also the action film Nobody. And being the fact that he himself is a fan of this series, I have the utmost faith that he will not disappoint the fans who have been playing this game for the longest. Now, honestly, I prefer beat 'em up games over one-on-one fighting games because, one, I am not that good at one-on-one fighting games, seeing how everyone plays Tekken, Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighter games, pulling off all these infinite 10-hit, 20, 30-hit combos. Yeah, I just catch a cramp in my fingers just trying to do that. Versus to beat 'em up, I am just mashing a button or several buttons, pulling off simple basic attacks, beating up hordes of bad guys, and fighting a boss character at the end. And the one thing that separates Streets of Rage from other beat 'em ups is its techno soundtrack. I mean, holy crap. Who knew that a game series can actually have a soundtrack that sounds this good, where you don't know whether you want to listen to the soundtrack or play the game? But this series manages to do both at the same time. And being that Streets of Rage 4 came out 2 years ago, that is one game that I do not get tired of playing at all. That's my default go-to game to play because it's still that much fun to play. But being that I'm saying this, here are some things that I want to see in this live-action movie. One, no shaky cam / quick cuts with the fight scenes. That is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to fight scenes in movies. The camera's all over the place and you don't see what's going on. Two, using actual martial artists to portray the protagonist of the series. It will make the fights much more believable, knowing that you have trained athletes and professionals doing these fight scenes. And the three, make the fight scenes grounded. Less use of wire work, less CGI. Four, give the film that 1980s, 1990s feel to it like the action movies of old and make it awesome. And five, speaking of the soundtrack, again, give us an original soundtrack. For those that are familiar with the music of the games, I think it would be more of a cop-out if they use the music from the games in the movie. I would prefer them to use or to create an original soundtrack for this movie. And if they do that, there are 3 guys that they need to bring on board to actually execute this. And that's Yuzo Koshiro, Motohiro Kawashima, and Olivier de Riviere. These 3 guys, yeah, actually made the best music possible for any modern day game. I mean, hands down, the game, it just makes it that much sweeter to play. And I mean, if they do it just right, oh man, they can actually make the fans happy. But hey, I can't wait to see what they do with this film. I'm not a big fan of movies based off of video games, being the fact that there was Mario Brothers, Double Dragon, just to name a few, and Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But in the right hands, by people who understand games and appreciate games, and appreciate making the fans happy, especially the fans who have been following a series like this for the longest. Yeah, it could definitely work. But hey, just my thoughts on this movie being in the works. I have the utmost faith again that Derek Kolstad will pull this off, and we'll see what happens from there. So till next time, see you on the next one.